I'm going to tell you a story and I want you to reflect on this and give your opinion. I was talking to a chief customer officer, and the previous day had talked to one of their clients, which was a chief security officer. That chief security officer had just gone through a big reviewed, I think, 14 different candidates for a purchase in their tech stack and what they were doing. Every single one of them said, "Yeah, we cover this and this on the product." They were all relatively competitive on price. He said, "All I wanted to know was what is it gonna be like to
Mhm.
work with them after I hire them? What's the experience gonna be like?" And that goes back to the in day and age of rapid innovation and product and technology, and you can't be the low cost competitor, that it leaves experience.
Mhm.
So here's a chief security officer making multi-million dollar purchase decisions, seeming to rely exactly what I'm how do I feel after I start working with you? What's that experience going to be like dependent on the people that I'm going to be working with?
Yeah, this reminds me of the sort of the topic around performance management. I know it's not one that's necessarily on the docket for today, but when you think about performance and looking we've gone from extreme to not doing it at all, and now we're back to somewhere in the middle of that. I think the overarching belief is that it's important to evaluate performance. So when I think about performance, I've always thought about it in two perspectives, which is what you do. So I'm an accountant and I have these core tasks. I have to do those tasks, and there is a objective viewpoint of am I doing those well or not through a subjective evaluation, i.e. a person. But there's the what you do, and then there's the how you do it. And the how you do it is all the behaviors. We might have a super gifted accountant who just is technically exceptional and superior and can do all the things really well, but behaviorally, they're terrible to work with. They don't collaborate, they don't communicate. So, on that vein, you would say that's not a high performer, or for that matter, not even just a good performer. And that speaks to the feeling part of it. This is how I feel when I work with said person. The other is true in the inverse, which is you might have someone who exhibits all the core behaviors super well, but technically they're really subpar. That experience is going to be not positive, and you're going to feel not well about it. So it really is a combination of both things. But in the end, it does come down to how does said person or people interacting feel about working with said person. I remember when I first got into management consulting, someone had talked to me about, I said, how do you know if someone's going to be a good consultant or not? And one of the things I think about in my interview with them is, what would it be like traveling with this person? Which has nothing to do with their performance and how they do what they do. It's all around, would I like talking to this person? Would I want to have dinner with this person? Could I spend 4 days a week for months on end working with this person in a conference room? That's all about experience and sort of the feel, if you will. And certainly it gets into all sorts of other things, but at its core, that's really what it's about. So I do think that experience and the affect, the feeling that creates, whether it's an employee, whether it's a customer, whether it's a partner, a provider, has a massive implication on, in the end, are we driving top line up to the right? Are we managing expenses and things down? Because then you're talking about behavior. Maybe think about it this way. If someone's not having a good experience and they're bitter and in anger or whatever, they're going to make bad decisions, which could have detrimental impact to the company. It could negatively impact, am I getting revenue, i.e. a sales rep who's not happy? It could be an accountant who's not managing and controlling the books. So there's lots of things. So experience, I think, just can't be emphasized enough. And that's well beyond engagement. I could ask someone, are you engaged or not? But it's going to be a function of all of these experiences and the experience overall. That's really where I've landed on how can I have the most impact on my organization? Take care of my people, but take care of them because I want to know what their experience is and what's impacting it. And if we can do that well, then I can sleep better at night knowing that we're contributing. They're contributing the best they can to up to the right or managing the business below.